Good morning, mathematicians. Welcome back to our second day of math class. So what we're going to talk about is a little bit about what our virtual math classroom should look and sound like. Yesterday we talked through that, the components of a math lesson that will be similar to what the math classroom would look like if we were in school. So we're going to talk a lot about that and make sure that we understand our expectations so everyone can be successful. Before we get started, I would like for you to take a look at my virtual classroom. On my virtual classroom page, I have included some links that can help you find what you're looking for. So if you notice, I have 3 tabs down here. Okay, the first one is Zern. I would like for all of us to join Zern by Wednesday, because Wednesday we're actually going to start our math lessons, and I will make sure that what you work on in Zern is the same thing that we're learning virtually, so that you can have that extra practice to make sure that you're getting the math lesson. So if I click on Zern, and you haven't joined a classroom yet, I'm going to kind of show you what you're going to have to do. So I'm going to go to Zern, and it's going to look like this. Okay, now, if you are a DRE student, then you know that Miss Webster set up an account last year. So if I'm just going to practice, I'm going to type my username, and I have put this in the class stream for each one of the math classrooms. So I'm going to type my first and last name, and then at the end of that I'm going to put DRE, because that's what our usernames are going to be. And then the password is math3. And I did that even for students that are new at DRE, just so everybody's would be the same, and if a parent messages me, then I know exactly what to tell them. So then if I go to sign in, you're going to get a message that looks like this. Now, you got to make sure that you check the math classroom stream page for your homeroom, because each math room is different, has a different code. So I could put in my code here, and then click join class, and you're ready to go. Okay? So I need to make sure that all of you by Wednesday have done this. Okay? So if you've not done it, then make sure you check that out and get that taken care of. Now let's go back to my virtual classroom. Okay, another icon I have here is Google Classroom. Right? Most of you are familiar with what that looks like. If I click on that, I can go to Google Classroom. Now, because I'm signed in, it's going to show everything that I have on my math classroom, or my Google Classroom. So yours probably not going to have as many classes as mine, but that's a quick way to get to your Google Classroom. The last thing that I put in, and I could add more in a few weeks or so, but the last thing I have here is an email icon. If you click on that, then you can send me an email. Okay, so that's just a quick way. If you need to message me something, then that's a quick way for you to be able to email me. Alright, I'm going to click no. Okay, so that's my virtual classroom. Like I said, I might add some more tabs or links in here a little bit later, but those are some things that you can practice with. Alright, let's review yesterday. One thing that I want you to make sure, and you know, I've already made mistakes. When I speak, I get tongue-tied. It's okay. So I want you to make sure this is a safe place to make mistakes, because we know in math, we make mistakes, we learn from our mistakes, and then we can solve problems a lot better. Yesterday, we talked about each part of the lesson. So we talked about the target, we talked about activating schema, what that would look like. The mini lesson is the part that you're going to watch, the guided practice and independent practice, and then our reflection and assessment. Okay, so a lot of times the reflection and assessment is going to be on a Google form. It's going to be a quick exit ticket, and at the bottom you would be able to reflect and tell me how you feel about this lesson, We'll also talk about misconceptions and things that we notice about math problems when we have our Google Meet. Okay, so those are important components of our math lesson, just like if we were in math class. Okay, so we still have these same components, we would just be in the classroom. So today what we're going to do is I'm going to meet with you on a Google Meet, and when we meet on that Google Meet, I'm going to share a document that looks like this. Okay, so it says, what does math class look and sound like? And this is Kaffenberger students, so this is you guys. We're going to look at a target. What should it look like? What should it sound like? And then maybe add some things like what it won't look or sound like, because we need to make sure that we know the expectations. And we're going to do that for each part of our lesson. We're going to just have a discussion about schema, and I'm going to fill this in. Mini lesson, what it looks and sounds like, what it won't look and sound like. Same thing with guided practice, independent practice, reflection, and assessment. Okay, so we're going to really go in depth and talk about what it should look and sound like, and then what it wouldn't look and sound like if we were doing the virtual math classroom. Okay, so there is nothing that you have to fill out on this. Okay, we'll kind of do this together as you let me know what you think, what your thoughts are. At the end of our Google Meet, when we finish our Google Meet, then you'll go back to the classwork, and I will post an exit ticket. Okay, and this is a quick and easy exit ticket. So I would open it up, and the first thing that you're going to have to do is make sure you put your name. Okay, your first and last name. And then there are only, I think, 3 questions. Okay, so I'm going to ask you what is the most important part of the math lesson, and then you select which one you think is correct. The second question says, if you're struggling, is it okay to watch the math video again? So you can select yes or no. And then the last part is, why do I want you to do a self-reflection of your learning? Okay, and I want you to read the responses and make sure you click which one you think the answer is. And then, when you get finished, you cannot forget to hit the submit button. Okay? My submit button is not on here because I am the creator of this document. But you've got to make sure you submit your exit ticket. Okay? So, and it should let you know if you got the answers correct or incorrect. So, now that we've gone over what our expectations are, you will meet me in a Google Meet, and we'll have our discussion about what it should look and sound like. And then after our Google Meet, an exit ticket will post to your classwork. Okay? So, hope everyone has a great day, and I will see you on the Google Meet.